Welcome back to In Pursuit of Truth. I am your host, Sir Patrick Mack, and wow, what a difference a couple hours makes. I actually had a video all set to load late last night, uploaded it early this morning, and in the difference between a couple hours, we have not only a new Q post, of course, but new revelations as well. Let's get to the Q post. 7 minutes after the hour of 9, Trust POTUS, Sparrow Red, missiles only, intel good, Q. Well, folks, I think you probably already know by now what's going on. I'm going to take you over to Fox News, and let's just play this. It's about a 2.5 minute video. We'll play that, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
Good evening, Shannon. Well, we just heard from Defense Secretary Mattis and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Joe Dunford. They were joined by their colleagues from Britain and France here in the Pentagon, and they told us that those airstrikes and those strikes from the sea began at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. It was, as Secretary Mattis said, a one-time shot. The airstrikes are over at this point in time. We can report that there were 3 targets that were struck. One was a research center in Damascus where chemical weapons were tested and stored. That was an R&D facility in Damascus. There was another chemical weapons storage facility in Homs, north of Damascus, as well as a separate storage site near Homs. So 3 sites were struck tonight. We just heard from Secretary Mattis. Here's what he said.
Tonight, France, the United Kingdom, and the United States took decisive action to strike the Syrian chemical weapons infrastructure. Clearly, the Assad regime did not get the message last year.
General Dunford said that Syrian surface-to-air missiles had been engaged at the beginning of the airstrikes. They, however, have not reported that there were any U.S. or allied losses as a result of those SAM missiles being fired, but they were engaged at the start. There was no sign that the Russians engaged in any way. General Dunford said that the deconfliction hotline that deconflicts the airspace above Syria was employed, but the U.S. did not give Russia any advance warning about the targets. Obviously, as they were choosing targets in recent days, it was very important to the Pentagon that they not choose any sites where they thought that Russians could be killed in the process. That's why they looked at these 3 targets in particular. They also wanted to minimize, according to Secretary Mattis, any potential for civilian casualties. That's why this was a somewhat limited strike. But as Secretary Mattis said, there were about twice the number of munitions used this year as opposed to last year's strike after Assad used chemical weapons a year ago. So it was a very strong, impactful, forceful strike, but limited in nature in terms of just 3 sites that were targeted. Shannon.
All right, Jennifer Griffin, remaining live for...
Okay, folks, there you go. So as Fox News reports, we got a joint airstrikes on Syria, U.S., Britain, and France hitting Syrian capital Damascus. All right, guys. Well, I think we know what the missiles are for. And, of course, Q says missiles only, Sparrow Red, trust POTUS. Okay, well, folks, that's up to you, whether you want to trust POTUS or not. I think there's a lot of people that feel a lot of mixed emotions about this. Let's see how the Russians feel. We're on the Mail Online. Insulting the president of Russia is unacceptable and inadmissible, Russian ambassador warns White House. There will be consequences after Syria strikes, while Moscow politician compares Trump to Hitler. Russia's ambassador to the United States warned the White House on Friday that military strikes against its allies will not be left without consequences after President Donald Trump ordered the bombing of multiple targets in Syria. The worst apprehensions have come true. Our warnings have been left unheard. A pre-designed scenario is being implemented, Russian envoy Anatoly Antonov said in a statement. Again, we are being threatened. We warn that such actions will not be left without consequences. All responsibility for them rests with Washington, London, and Paris. Insulting the president of Russia is unacceptable and inadmissible, the ambassador continued. The U.S., the possessor of the biggest arsenal of chemical weapons, has no moral right to blame other countries, he added. The statement from Antonov was issued just minutes after the president directed a portion of his remarks towards Russian President Vladimir Putin as he delivered an address to the American people announcing the military action against Damascus. Okay, over here on Fox News, and maybe you guys have seen this, Trump delivers his remarks on Syria. He had some things to say, and I'm not going to play that video for, but just want to talk about this one article here from not too long ago here on Fox News. Largest Syrian American group hails Trump after military action. The nation's oldest and largest advocacy group for Syrian Americans said Friday that it applauded President Donald Trump's decision to take military action in Syria and enforce international law prohibiting the use of chemical weapons. We send our sincere thanks to the administration for holding Syrian leader Bashar Assad accountable for Sunday's chemical attack in Douma and the crimes against humanity over the past 7 years of the Syrian war, the Washington-based Syrian American Council said in a statement. And there's their tweet right there from the Syrian American Council. The SAC says it sees Trump's action as genuine opportunity to end Syria's war, a conflict in which the Assad regime has employed chemical weapons, barrel bombs, and cluster munitions used to target and kill civilians. We urge President Trump and the coalition to sustain the strikes and to ground Assad's air force, creating a no-fly zone, and thereby disabling the Assad regime's ability to commit further war crimes and mass atrocities, the council said. Okay, so there's a couple different takes on it, all right? And you guys can let me know what you think. Let's see what Donald Trump says. Well, incidentally, 13 hours ago, Donald Trump was talking about the McCabe report. Remember the McCabe report? DOJ just issued the McCabe report, which is a total disaster. He lied. McCabe was totally controlled by Comey, who incidentally is also coming out with his book this weekend. McCabe is Comey, no collusion, all made up by this den of thieves and lowlives. Okay, so we've got this really big news that Andrew McCabe lied, and you know that's going to be big news because that's going to expose him. It's going to expose Comey. So what do we need? I don't know. What do we need? We usually need a false flag, right? Now, not saying it's a false flag. Of course, we actually did fire missiles. Now, we don't know where exactly, they're saying that it was a munitions area when they were stocking up on chemical weapons and doing research and things like that. So we're not really sure. Time will tell, but I'm sure the news is going to definitely get very riled up over the next couple days. And like I said, I just took down my last video because it just didn't even make sense after last night. So lots have changed here. But remember, ousted FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe improperly leaked information to a reporter and then lied to both his boss, then Director James Comey, and to FBI agents investigating his behavior, the Justice Department Inspector General said Friday. He was under oath when he lied to FBI agents, the Inspector General said in a lengthy new report that could prove devastating to Mr. McCabe's credibility and to other ongoing investigations. Okay, so I'm going to keep this short, folks. We have some new evidence that McCabe lied. Okay, this is going to lead to Comey, who, like I said, incidentally, this weekend has I believe it's this weekend, has his book coming out. Interesting timing. Okay, we were wanting to pull out of Syria, and now we've got these missiles fired. So we have the Russians who say it's terrible, apprehensible, and irreprehensible, excuse me. And at the same time, they said they were going to shoot him down, but they didn't shoot anything down. And then we have this Syrian American group here that seems to hail the group. So there's a couple different takes on what happened. But you tell me what you think about this. Obviously, news is hitting me faster than I can even read it at this point. But those are your Q posts. My apologies for those of you who missed my other video. I probably won't put it back up. It was just some guessing as to what the missiles might be before they were even launched, and of course now we know where they came from. Okay, so once again, joint airstrikes on Syria. U.S., Britain, and France hit Syrian capital Damascus. You let me know what you think. Those are your Q posts, or that is your Q post for so far. And if anything else comes up, I will be all over it. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about all this down below. And until next time, stay aware.